Hi, thanks for joining for another session of keyword research. Although this session is not going to be so much about the keywords, but about the niche and the competition in the niche. And if you've seen the title of this video or the thumbnail, so maybe you have a good idea or some idea of what is it going to be about. But if not, let me tell you. So we're going to do a research on a specific niche today, which is saturated, which is a niche that I don't think it's worth competing in, not if you want to compete in the US or in tier one markets. And I want to show you how you can use the keyword research tool to recognize, such a problem, right? If you're vibe coding an app in a specific market, I mean, you would want the market to be, I don't know, not right. You would want the competition to be low. You would not want it to have like a lot of big apps and many successful apps and huge players, I don't know, like Microsoft or Google competing at it. And I want to show you how you can see this from using the keyword research tool. One of the reasons is that in the tool we have also competitive landscape analysis. And so you can see a lot of those things in there, but you can also see how for different keywords that you would think there are good keywords that could be relevant that you would want to compete on, actually you have very limited opportunities. This is what I want to show you. So I'm going to do the research part very fast, and in order to get to the final part as fast as possible. So the app we're going to choose is coming from the list of nominees for the Apple Design Awards. And I want to, so it's going to be structured, which is as you can see, to-do list, planner, calendar organizer, all this kind of stuff. Very mature niche, right? One of the first, I think, in the Apple App Store. So, you have, you should know probably you have Microsoft competing here, Google, a lot of, Notion, like a lot of big names, and they're all compete eventually on the same traffic. So it's kind of like intuitive, should be intuitive for a developer to know that. There is not a lot of opportunities in here. Unless if you want to go to the habit tracker, and there is a video on habit trackers. So you can look in the habit tracker videos, and you can see how the competition is actually lower on habit tracker niche, which are very similar to organizers and calendars, but yet a little bit different. And this is a very close niche, which is not that saturated compared to the calendars niche and the daily planners niche, which is something that if you want to compete on just the regular B2C organic traffic, you're probably not going to be able to, unless you invest, I don't know, hundreds of millions in for user acquisition, and even then I don't know if it's worth it. So let me show you why. Okay, so we picked a very successful app. They're here for I don't know how many years. We're going to figure this out. And they are also a very successful developer. They have multiple apps, successful apps. This app is very good. Let's see. Let's start to do a keyword research for this niche and see where it gets us. Okay, so we start with the app ID, take it in here. Now we're going to choose categories in which we want to look for competition. So let's look at productivity, obviously, utility, and let's say business. Okay. And we see the results. We see, a lot of relevant apps. I'm going to just, in this case, you can see they're all very relevant. I'm going to pick everything that I see almost. Family organizer, maybe it's a little different. So I'm going to skip on that. And Evernote. I didn't know Evernote in the game. Okay. Team planner, that's enough. Moving on to the next step. Let's look for similar apps that are coming from here. So unless we check them before, they're going to be available for us to check from this list in a second. Okay. So in here, actually, we can find apps that are not the, I mean, the biggest apps, but seem to me as relevant. Okay, that's it. I cannot pick any more. So moving to the next step. Next step, I need to uncheck keywords that I think that are too broad or too general. I don't see anything like this in here, right? So they have the word visual in their subtitle, which I think is the least relevant keyword, but I'm going to keep it because it's in their subtitle. But I'm interested to to see if they found some opportunities in the word visual for keywords. I don't think so, but let's see. ADHD, not relevant. AI, everything that is not relevant, I'm just removing. Now, I will also remove brand names. Trying to do it as fast as possible, so we would get to the last parts of the research. Okay, now let's wait a second for it to analyze the titles of the apps that we just chose. Yeah, okay, so it's not the title analysis of the apps, it's searching for apps that rank in the top 10 results for these keywords that we selected before, because from here we can find additional competition. So first of all, habit tracker, right? So it's not exactly the same niche, but look how close the niche are to each other. So habit tracker, which is the best the biggest habit tracker app, ranked for so many keywords, like the most amount of keywords from our list. I'm gonna mark it here because, again, even though they're in a sister niche, they still compete with daily planners and to-do lists. Okay, Google Calendar, obviously. Microsoft To Do. That's what I was talking to. Notion. I mean, you see, these are the ones you compete with. This is very difficult. Okay, we checked the maximum amount. And let's move on to analyzing the app titles of the apps that we just chose now. And here they are. I'm going to quickly uncheck things that I think that are less relevant or too broad. Okay. Now let's give it a minute to build the final keyword map. Okay, so here it is, almost 700 keywords. Again, not all of them are relevant. You need to do additional work here. Okay, this is what you do with keyword research, but I think it's as relevant as it gets. You can export this, or you can just click on continue to the metadata optimization, but don't do it right now, okay? Because before you go to metadata optimization, you have the analysis, okay? So you can look at other videos, demo videos where I'm doing keyword research, and I'm really going into deep about each of this table of the NLP extracted keywords and simply extracted keywords, and telling you what you can do with this. But right now I want to skip it because I want to get to the main point, which is the competitive landscape. So here are all the apps that we choose, all the apps that we think they are competing for the same search terms, right, in the store, for the same things, for the same kind of traffic. And you can see just by looking at total reviews amount, okay, and the age also. So you see how, how old are these apps, for how long they are in this game, and how many reviews they have. So yeah, there are smaller players with less reviews. I don't know. By the way, maybe they deleted the reviews, right? So it could be. But from this list, you can understand that there are a lot of big sharks in here, and it's going to be very difficult, even though you see small apps. But you can tell yourself, okay, this is a small flag. I'm going to continue on, and later in the metadata optimization part, I'm going to show you how it is almost impossible to compete for any keyword over Microsoft, right? Habit tracker. I mean, app with huge amounts of reviews, very difficult to compete on. So this specific app structures, obviously they are very successful and they have also like huge amount of reviews. But look at the average, 60,000. This is like, if you're vibe coding something, I mean, this is something that's almost impossible to reach, without huge investment in user acquisition, almost impossible. Like, and per year, like 7,500 per year. So this is crazy. So if you analyze a niche and this is what you find, I mean, you should look for something else, in my opinion. And we're looking at the map. So again, we see that the average and we see the structure, they're very successful again, right? So they are from the right side and above to the right and above the average. And I think the circle is also their circle is larger. Like, so on average, there are 7,000 reviews per year. But look at structured. I mean, this is crazy. And this is a very specific niche. I mean, this is not even photo editing. I mean, there are not like so many searches. There are not so many downloads in this niche compared to, I'm not talking about gaming, but even, I mean, video or music apps. But I mean, if you think that you found a niche and then you go and you do this analysis and you see total reviews average 60,000, that's a problem. Okay. And that's what I wanted to show. And now let's move on to metadata optimization. So it's going to analyze all the keywords. I mean, not analyze, it's going to allow you some filtering options for the keywords, and you can choose up to 30 most relevant for you from the research and then analyze them. Or you can upload your own keyword research from another ASO tool and do this, just copy paste your keyword research here. Okay, you can look this demo video and see how exactly it is done. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some regex search here, and I would like to search for relevant keywords, and I'm going to insert really quick, words that I think I'm going to be interested in. So let's say calendar, sorry, and then planner, and what else they have, to do, and to do in this form. And for example, daily and schedule, right? Did I write it the right way? Schedule, there's no schedule here. Okay, schedule and planner. Did I add planner already? Yeah. Let me see. Routine is a good word. Organizer. Okay. Maybe I did schedule wrong, but so I will just keep this. Should be enough. And I just want to look at keywords with some search adds popularity. Okay. So let's start looking at keywords that we want to add. So calendar, obviously, so many searches. Not going to add Google Calendar, but calendar, yes. Let's pick up to 30 keywords. Okay. Planner, calendar, Todoist. Todoist, I mean, it's a brand of an app, but okay, let's skip Todoist because it's the name of an app. So obviously you cannot compete for this. But schedule, planner, organizer, to do. Okay, to do. Okay, daily schedule planner, daily reminders, schedule maker, routine tracker. All these are things, keywords that I would like to inspect and to analyze the amount of competition that they have. Daily calendar, daily goal tracker, okay, lifestyle routine, okay, routine builder. Routine builder, I mean, it's more habit trackers, right? Because of routine and habit. I mean, it came from there, right? From Jerry Seinfeld, and but I mean, they're very close to each other. all-in-one digital planner, daily reminder, daily routine. Okay. So we kind of chose all the keywords that you would want to rank for. So because they are the ones that have traffic, and they are the ones that's relevant for this niche. Let's run their difficulty check. Okay. Okay. So again, if you want to understand what each and every header means, so go to the demo video. I explain it in great detail. But right now, let's just look at the keywords and the amount of reviews. And the amount of reviews here are if you hover here, the average review count of the top 10 apps for this keyword. So obviously calendar is impossible to rank for this. And you see the amount of reviews. But you see that it gets the minimal amount, right? The least reviews are still almost 23,000. I mean, if you compare it to the habit tracker niche that we did, I mean, it's a completely different game. There are almost no opportunities here. And let's sort by difficulty score from lowest to highest. And you see, like, for example, schedule maker could be a good word, for example, to compete. Why? Because if you go to title optimization, you see 0 exact matches, meaning that no one is actually using schedule maker in its subtitle. And I think not even in the subtitle. So you could assume that it's a good place to compete, the good keyword to compete on. But look, so first up, 120,000 reviews. Structured, we know they have 160 reviews. So you have this app actually coming in third, not bad, without exact match keyword. So in their title. So but this is as good as it gets. And this is just one keyword, one out of the entire research, one out of 20 that kind of there are kind of opportunities in there. Now you have all-in-one digital planner, which is an interesting keyword. And let's just look at the search results for here. So you see there is an app with exact match, all-in-one digital planner, exact match on its app title. And you see only one review. I mean, it's a very poor app. And I'm looking into it, and I'm seeing a developer with tens of apps, so he probably knows what he's doing. And then I ask myself, did he create this keyword? I mean, does this keyword has a search as popularity of 13 just because it is the name of this app and people are coming and searching for this? So probably no, because first of all, nobody's searching for this, because we don't see there's traffic for this app, at least not in US. And then also, I would take this keyword, I would copy paste it, and I would check it in the list, right? In the keywords list. And I see that it came from suggestions. It came from digital planner. So if you look for digital planner on your iPhone, so one of the suggestions, or the only suggestion that comes up, is all-in-one digital planner. So I think the guy, what he did, he figured this out. He recognized this keyword and he matched his app title, or even created an app just to compete for this. And I mean, he's done it, right? Because he's ranked second for this term and everything. But I mean, this is so limiting. I mean, this is almost the only opportunity. And I mean, I wouldn't recommend just to build an app just to be able to rank for this. I think the strategy here for this app is just to build a lot of apps and to be able to catch maybe 1 or 2 or 3 good search terms to drive traffic for these apps. But I mean, if you're seriously building something that is, like you want a good app, so you're going to do your research, and this is how you understand that this niche is not something you can compete at. I mean, there are no opportunities here. There's nothing here. So yeah, okay, every keyword gets a difficulty score, and you can say, okay, but this is just 3 out of 10. Well, maybe there are opportunities, but no, there isn't. First of all-in-one digital planner, we always talked about. And the only way for you to have this in an exact match is if this is going to be your app name. So there's no opportunity for long-term thinking about branding and anything. You need to have this in your app title. Now the other one is Schedule Maker. Okay, I agree. I would try to do something with this. I would try at least use it in my subtitle, but this is just one opportunity from a research of 700 words. I mean, this is not enough. Now you have Daily Routine Planner, but it is comes with the word free. So you know that people who are looking for this, they're not really willing to pay. I mean, just not enough opportunities. Planner calendar, very weird combination to use, but the average amount of reviews here is almost 52,000. I mean, this is going to be so difficult to rank for. And then even if you are able to rank for, I don't think you're going to get a lot of downloads. So because you're not going to have a lot of downloads because you're going to be visibly inferior to your competition. So if you are thinking of a niche and you're doing this research, and this is what you find out from the research, that all the most relevant keywords that you're interested in have an average amount of reviews, for the apps that ranked in the top 10 search results, and it begins with 22,000. 22,000 is not the average here. It begins with this. So there's nothing to talk about. Right. So in the previous steps, we've seen in the competitive landscape map, we've seen apps with 300, 400, 500 reviews. They came up in the research, but they are probably not able to rank, far for anything. And I mean, I wouldn't start an app if this is the niche. Okay, not if I want to compete in US or in tier 1 markets. Right. So this is what I wanted to show you. Let's complete the research, right? Let's complete it. So because we can optimize the metadata for structured, they shouldn't hear my advice because they need to do what's working for them. They are already in the market and they are successful. So no need to listen to me. But if you are interested in the exercise, or if you have to do this for yourself, if you already in this niche, so let's see what can we do better. So first of all, the word visual, this is the word which I had problem with, because if I go now and I search for this word, I get almost nothing. I get Visual Studio. I get only irrelevant things, right? And they all came, by the way, from visual, which was extracted from the target, right? Visual. I mean, I don't know why they use it. I mean, there's no reason really to use this. So I would look for a replacement for the word visual. And if you look at suggested words, so probably the replacement should come from one of these, because these are the most repeated words. So I don't know. First of all, they have to do like this. So by the way, if they do like this, so they're going to have to and do. But maybe there is a reason they want it in this way. I don't know, could be. So I'm going to keep it. And then they can use, I don't know, list or task or routine. Routine sounds interesting, but I don't see a good way to combine it with calendar and organizer, which I'm not going to give up calendar and organizer. Maybe tracker. Maybe they can do, for example. So just before I continue, so look, this is the current place, and look how few green, areas there are. But obviously, because we don't have the metadata yet. But let's wait a second, and let's use the word tracker in here. This is the only change I'm going to do. Calendar. We can say calendar organizer. I think we can. Calendar organizer and tracker. Okay. Yes, it's weird a little bit. I need more time, to figure out something better for this. But I mean, that's okay, just for the exercise, right? Calendar organizer tracker, or calendar organizer and scheduler. So even scheduler, I will try to choose. Okay. Or you can say schedule and organize calendar. I don't know, but something like that. Okay. So scheduler or tracker. Okay. I started with tracker. Okay. Now you should choose the keyword metadata. You have 100 characters, including commas. And what usually I would do, I would just fill it with everything that I have here, because the list of words that I have here are the most repeated keywords. Okay. And you see it filled 100 out of 100. And you see now I have many more green keywords, which means that I matched to use the relevant keywords in my metadata to match for a specific search terms that I want to compete in. And also we improved the coverage from 5 out of 20 to 6 out of 20. I mean, that's what I will do. And that's it. But again, don't compete in this niche. This is the main point here. If you see this, if you see that any keyword that you think is relevant is such a red ocean, right? Just don't go there. You can do this check before you start developing. This is a free tool, and that's it. Good luck.